Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you.
Rand Paul! 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 Rand Paul!
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to introduce my wife, Kelly Paul.
Woo!
My mom, Carol Paul. My brother, Ronnie, and his wife, Peggy, and their children. Harry Reid told me just last week, Tea Party's dead. You're done for. He says it's over. He says you have no influence and that we will be beaten and that there's no future for the Tea Party.
Wrong! Woo!
But then in the next breath he says you're controlling the Republican Party and you're destroying the country. So which is it? Are we in charge or are we losing, Harry? Tell us, which one is it?
We are in charge.
Speaking in this Texas heat, I'm reminded of Castro. He used to give these 8-hour speeches in the Cuban sun. He was given one of these interminable speeches, and from the crowd came a voice saying, "Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks." Castro got mad, but he went on. 5 minutes later, or maybe 5 hours later, he heard it again, "Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks." And he says, "I hear that again, I'm going to kick your butt all the way to Miami." All of a sudden, the entire crowd said, "Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks." You have a candidate in Ted Cruz that got kicked all the way to Miami by Castro. He knows about communism firsthand, and I hope you'll think about it and give him a chance, because he understands the Constitution. From childhood on, he knows what it's about. You give him a chance, you'll have a real hero from Texas, and you need one.
And it's not Romney.
I did have a problem with those light bulbs. I've got a problem with my toilet. I mean, I want the government out of my bedroom, but I also want them out of my bathroom.
Amen!
They tell me what kind of light bulb I can use.
What kind of toilet paper to use?
What kind of toilet paper? For goodness sakes, these Hollywood celebrities want to tell you how much toilet paper you can use.
That's right.
Is that the nanny state or what? They'll tell you what kind of shower heads you can have. You know, the light bulbs cost $4. I asked the Department of Energy woman, "Are you against choice?" She said, "Oh no, I'm for choice in light bulbs." I said that you're precisely not for choice in light bulbs. You won't let us make a decision. By the way, do you hate poor people? How are regular people going to afford $4 light bulbs? So President Obama gave a prize recently, $10 million prize to Philips Electric to develop a energy efficient, cost-effective light bulb. You know how much the light bulb costs? $50. How much did we give Philips Electric? $10 million to develop a $50 light bulb. It's insane. We live in a nanny state. There are 38 federal agencies that are armed. Now you may say we need to have a police, we need to have an army, but does the Department of Agriculture need a SWAT team?
Nope.
Recently, the Department of Agriculture showed up with automatic weapons and with a Gestapo-style SWAT team to close down a company that was doing the horrendous crime of selling milk directly from the cow. Recently, Fish and Wildlife showed up at Gibson Guitar, once again with armed agents. You know what their crime was? They're accused of breaking an Indian, not a U.S., an Indian labor law that says their product needs to be finished in India. It's a labor protection law, but they're being persecuted and prosecuted for breaking a law that's not even a U.S. law. We put a U.S. citizen, a Florida citizen, in jail for the crime of breaking a Honduran fishing regulation. He got 8 years in prison. One of the regulations was that the fish needed to be imported in cardboard boxes, not plastic. That's a criminal offense under the Lacey Act. We've let our government get away from us. But we're at a point where we need a new generation of leaders. We need leaders who believe in the Constitution. We need to know who will be the next generation, who will be our leaders. Roger Waters asked, he said, did you trade your heroes for ghosts? Did you exchange a walk-on part in a war for a lead role in a cage? Recently I met an Egyptian woman. When they're put on trial in Egypt, they're put in a cage. She's accused of promoting secular democracy in Egypt. And yet what do the people in Congress do to support her? They say, let's send $2 billion of your dollars to Egypt and maybe they'll behave better if we give them more money. Do you know that we actually send foreign aid to China? We send economic development assistance to China. We borrow it from them, then we give it back to them. It's ridiculous and it has to stop. You have to end it. Is over. Harry Reid says you're of no consequence, you can't win any battles, you're not winning any legislative battles. But you know the one thing we have won, a tremendous victory, and we need to be proud of this and understood it. When Obamacare was passed, Nancy Pelosi asked incredulously, how could anyone say that this would challenge the Constitution? We now have not only challenged the constitutionality of it, we've won at several levels, and we have a better than 50% chance the Supreme Court will strike down Obamacare. George Will put it, I think, very succinctly. He said the case against Obamacare is the last exit on the highway to unlimited government. And it truly is. This is our last chance, I believe, in many ways. And it didn't just start with President Obama. It's been Republicans, it's been Democrats, it's been 50 years of bad court cases. The Tea Party has a lot of intellectual godfathers. Ron Paul is one. Barry Goldwater is another. Barry Goldwater talked about, in The Conscience of a Conservative, he talked about a case called the Wickard case. In that case, a farmer who says he does not want to sell his grain, he wants to grow 20 acres, the federal government says you can only grow 14 acres. He said, it's my land, damn it, I'll grow what I want. And he grew 20 acres, and it went through the Supreme Court, and finally they ruled that by him not selling it, he chose not to sell it, he fed it to his own cows, by his inactivity, by his not engaging in commerce, that somehow that could indirectly affect the price of grain, and therefore the federal government could regulate it. That's where it began. It was like 1942. But Barry Goldwater, in that book, The Conscience of the Conservative, I think succinctly wrapped up what a lot of us are about, when he said, I have little interest in streamlining government or making it more efficient, for I mean to reduce its size. He said, I do not undertake to promote welfare. Rather, I propose to extend freedom. My aim is not to inaugurate new programs. My aim is not to pass bills, but to repeal bills. My aim is not to inaugurate new programs, but to cancel old ones that do violence to the Constitution.
That's right.
Goldwater said that I will not attempt to discover whether legislation is needed before I have discovered whether it is constitutional.
Yeah, come on.
And if I am neglected, if I'm accused of neglecting my constituents' interest, I will reply that I was told that my constituents' chief interest was liberty. And in that cause, I am doing the best that I can. I can't think of a more succinct way of talking about liberty and freedom and what we're about. We have to fight it. I do believe we are on a precipice. We have a constitutional republic, but we've been losing it for decades and decades and decades. Jefferson recognized this. Jefferson said that a pure democracy would be nothing more than mob rule. We had to have rules. There are certain things the majority can't take away from us. They can't take away the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, any of the Bill of Rights. The majority has no right. Those rights were given to us by our Creator, and they pre-exist government.